Good morning. Welcome in. Take your seats. My name is Christian Menendez, and I will be your lead instructor for the duration of the next 4 months of this Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Training Academy. Welcome to Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Day 1. My job as your lead instructor is to produce a Day 1 ready firefighter after this academy. That is not a job I take lightly, and is not a job that will be easy. This will be one of the hardest things you ever do in your life. It's going to take everything you got. It's going to take commitment. It's going to take passion. It's going to take heart. But I promise you, if you give me everything you got and you buy into the product that I'm building, you'll be a better firefighter for it come the end. To give you a little bit of insight about who I am, like I said, my name is Christian Menendez. I've been a firefighter for 9 years. 4 years with Orange County Fire Rescue, 5 years with Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. I'm an ultra endurance athlete. I'm an Ironman. I've done 24-hour obstacle course races. I put my body through the extremes and tested myself beyond my limits. And that is what you'll be doing in this academy. You're going to be pushed to your limits, and you're going to have to break limits to produce a better version of yourself. What I really want to talk to you about today is training in the fire service. Yes, you'll be doing all the training you may need at the beginning here within these first 4 months. But that training should not stop here. That training should carry over. It should carry over to the stations. It should carry over with you for your entire career. You should constantly be a firefighter in training. I remember when I first graduated minimum standards and we passed our test and we were all happy. Our instructor asked us, when do you guys consider yourselves firefighters? So we all gave different answers. One person said, well, technically I am a firefighter because we just passed minimum standards. Somebody else said, well, when I get hired by a career fire department, then I can consider yourself a firefighter. But my instructor responded, and I'll never forget this. He said, from the day you get hired to the day that you retire, you are not a firefighter. You are a firefighter in training. Every day you should be training to be better. When you retire, that's when you call yourself a firefighter. And I take that very seriously. I remember when I first got hired here and I had just graduated Recruit Academy. The first thing I wanted to do on my day off was not celebrate and party. I came back to the training grounds and trained by myself. I remember grabbing a RIT pack, which is something I was super passionate about in my other department, was RIT. And I started training on it. And I saw 2 training captains walk by me, and they were walking towards me, and I thought, uh-oh, here I am. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm probably borrowing equipment that I shouldn't have, and they're probably gonna ask me what I'm doing. But the response I got from them was actually a surprise. They wanted to know what I was doing, and they wanted to know if they can join me. So here I am, a probationary firefighter, and I have 2 captains picking my brain about what I used to do in my old department with RIT and what they do here in their department now. And I remember this conversation ended up lasting over an hour. And it led to something that I never would have had the opportunity to have had I not been training. They asked me if I wanted to try out for their Miami-Dade Fire Rescue RIT training team and their competition team. So I said, yeah, I would love to try out. So I thought, okay. The first day when they were making an announcement about the team, there was over 40, 50 people that showed up to the announcement to find out what the team was about. And here I am thinking, wow, there's only 4 spots on this team. I'm gonna have to fight as hard as I can, and I'm gonna have to train as hard as I can to make sure I make one of these spots on the team. But when it came time to practice, very few people showed up, maybe 6 or 7 people. And what I realized that day was everybody wants a title, everybody wants a t-shirt, everybody wants to say that they're part of the team, but nobody wants to put the work in. So what ended up happening, little by little, less and less people started showing up to train. It got to the point where it was just me. One of the training captains used to call me the one-man RIT team because I would always show up to train by myself. It wasn't until then that Captain Stevens came up to me and says, you're the one that's dedicated and you're the one that wants us the most. I need you to find like-minded people like yourselves and build this team up so we can start competing. So I did. I ended up doing that. I ended up building the team. I brought all the players in, and I ended up becoming the captain of the training team, of the RIT team for competitions. And that opportunity would have never came to me if I wouldn't have been at the department training. And what I want you to get out of that story is that like-minded people, go-getters, they will be attracted to you if you put that energy out there. I wanted to be out there. People saw that. People saw my work ethic. People saw my hustle, and that opened up a door for me. And that will happen to you throughout your entire career if you let it. If people see your work ethic. And the only way for your work ethic to be good is to train. Train on things that are not good, that you're not good at, and train on your strengths and weaknesses. Another important reason for training is you have the ability to change the culture around you. I remember when I was at Station 45 as a probationary firefighter, I was at the dinner table one night, and the officer that was in charge of the hazmat unit was there bragging about how he hadn't put his gear on in 5 years, and how he's close to retirement, he's never gonna put his gear on again. And he thought that my reaction to that was gonna be, oh wow, that's awesome, that's so cool that you haven't put your gear on. But I made it a point from that day forward, every day that I was at that station, I was gonna do an air consumption drill. And I was gonna make it a point for him to see me. And he did. He never said anything to me, but he saw that the reaction that he thought I was gonna have from him telling me that was the actual opposite. And little by little, people from that station started being attracted to it. And they asked me, hey, when are you working out today? Can I join you? And I ended up building a culture there of people that wanted to start training again. I promise you that if you put yourself out there, if you train, if you work on your skills, if you ask questions on things you're not that good at and work on it with people who are good at it, it will pay off for the rest of your career. And you can truly call yourself a firefighter once it's all said and done. Thank you.